This is our second webinar for the MSc program at the Symbiosis School of Economics. I have with me uh, a bunch of my colleagues who are going to help out in uh, taking care of your queries after we have given you a little bit of um, information about the program and its nitty-gritty. I'd request my colleague Dr. Khushbu to start with a quick video and then we'll take it on from there. Thank you. Khushbu, over to you.
SSE is basically a journey for a lifetime. You will never forget your time at SSE.
I have loved this college from the moment I've set foot in it.
SSE is a place where you can come, where all the stereotypes about cultural diversity in India and all the myths about different cultures are burst.
The faculty is very approachable, the management is very approachable, and students really are the first priorities.
It gives you a lot of exposure within class and outside class as well.
Conferences, academic events, research papers, workshops, etc. that we've attended as a part of this college, I am quite certain that it's definitely not an opportunity that everyone can avail.
And you have your own fest here, which is called Equilibria, which is a beautiful culmination of everyone's efforts. You have sports, you have cultural, you have social, you have a lot of festivals happening throughout the year.
If you put people with different ideas and from different backgrounds together, that conflict is definitely to happen. But SSE is a place where you can learn that there is unity in diversity and there is a solution in collaboration.
And it's not just outside college that we do well in academics, we go beyond economics as well.
SSE gave me an edge. The institution made me a better professional, an economist and a visionary with great communication skills. It has opened many doors for me with a very well-designed curriculum.
As a student, I was involved in numerous life projects where I was trained to work with large data and advanced software, which has currently helped me a lot in my career.
At the end of the year, everyone for doing really well in extracurriculars or co-curriculars, you do get a reward from the college on its annual day. So it's a really nice experience when you work really hard and you get rewarded for it as well. So it's like a roller coaster basically, except that it leaves you on a high and not at the bottom. So this is life at SSE.
Thank you, Khushbu. So now that you've had a glimpse of our campus and you've heard from our students what life at SSE feels for an average student, let me share my screen and we'll move on to the kind of program that we offer, the details of the program, and a few things about how our program is pitched for you to take the very best of all the elements that we offer to you. So just give me a second. Okay, Is this visible to all of you?
Yes.
So as you can see that we put a lot of stress on the interdisciplinary framework in terms of learning. Our programs are rigorous. We look at experiential learning. We use a bunch of different teaching styles, and we ensure that you are engaged in those teaching methods so that you can also learn as much as we learn from our students. Okay, we look at research opportunities everywhere, whether it is something like a standard course such as microeconomics or macroeconomics, whether it is research methodology and software application, or whether it is one of your specialization papers in finance, in urban development, in development studies, or in international trade. We look at an all-round understanding and application of economics and its core and elective courses that we offer to you. So far, these are our stats, but I'm not going to get into this. This is not so important for you right now. We follow something that our director is very fond of because she's developed this herself, and she calls this the RPI model, where we look at academics, research, placement, internationalization, and enhanced engagement. Now, enhanced engagement is essentially engagement with the world outside SSE. That is the alumni. It could be research agencies and institutions. It could be the corporate. It could be other universities, NGOs, government, etc. We have networking and engagements with all such entities. So these are the 5 pillars under which your education will be offered. Our director also has designed another acronym called DUXA, because she says that the world is very uncertain, it is full of challenges. You need knowledge in a certain direction, and yet you need knowledge across all subject matters, because just being a specialist is not enough. Not being a generalist is also not enough. So you actually have to be both in the proportions that are right. You need to acquire skills. You have to have the right attitude. And so this is the kind of training that we give you for the world that we live in. Okay? As far as academia is concerned, we keep on revising and upgrading our curriculum. We look at inputs from all stakeholders. We take feedback from all stakeholders. We have a very, very rigorous and ever evolving academic approach. And of course, it is interdisciplinary because, like I said, you can't be a generalist. You can't be a specialist only. Neither can you not know elements of other faculty or other subject matter which play an important role in influencing the way economics is applied. One of my colleagues who's going to address you guys later on works in behavioral. It takes a lot from psychology and applies it to economics. I'm sure many of you are aware of it. So we need to look at not just core economics, but also need to take from other allied subject matters. Like I mentioned before, we have very strong focus as far as research is concerned, especially for students, not just for faculty members, but also especially for students. And it is an inbuilt path to progress in the curriculum itself. So we have research pertaining to urban studies, rural development, international studies and trade, behavioral and experiential economics, and general social science research, which is interdisciplinary. Okay. We also have a strong placements team who help you with various different aspects of grooming and skilling yourselves so that you are made amenable for the world outside SSE. And my colleague is going to talk to you about it in a bit. Uh, Let me talk to you about the uh, program itself. So the MSc Economics program at SSE is of 2 years duration. The first and the second semester is common for everyone. And here you learn all the core courses that any student of economics should be learning. So you will learn advanced macroeconomics, advanced microeconomics, public economics, mathematical economics, econometrics, research methodology, etc. Once you have moved out of your first and second semesters, you get to choose a specialization for your third and fourth semesters. And we have 4 different specializations that are available. So I think I will now hand over uh, the discussion on to my colleagues here. Is Ranjan present? Dr. Ranjan, will you please address the audience about the trade specialization? And maybe while you are talking about it, you can also tell them about the research components that we make the students partake in through the program. Thank you, Dr. Ranjan.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Good afternoon, all. I will talk about the trade specialization. Trade specialization, and we have around 10, around 8 to 9, I think, courses are there besides the theory part, and most of the courses are application oriented. So we are going to apply mathematics, econometrics, and lot of data crunching there in the class, as well as the as in term of assignment, research paper. So you are going to be expert in trade analysis, right? So one course is there, that is pure theory of trade, where you learn about the starting from the classical trade theory to modern theory. Then most of the other courses are application oriented. So regarding the applications, you need to have strong background in microeconomics, mathematical economics, and econometrics, as well as statistics. So as you know, the trade is mainstream economics, and it is there for a long time, and it is going to be there. Although of course the new modern theories, application, other things have developed over time. So before the finance theory, that is we are already offering the MSc, trade was most preferred subject, but now it is the finance is preferred. But all the subjects for me is equal and have equal opportunities. But I think what you know is that trade theory, basically you have to understand the starting with the main theories, what is driving the trade, what are the factors that is responsible, globalization, deglobalization, and migration. So different aspects of trade we are going to cover: regional trade integrations in South Asia, in the rest of the world. And so all these dynamics of trade and its interface with the data and all things, you are going to learn about these things. So basically you have to be let's say very alert, and also very what you call the basic foundation on different aspects. And lot of data crunching is going to happen, because a lot of data are available in trade. Now you all of you know that data is available on monthly basis, data is available on different commodity basis, and you know that the trade is happening mainly through the classifications are there. Different classifications are there: 2-digit classification, 4-digit classification, then 6-digit classifications also there. So a lot of data are there. So you have to very sure about theories, and then methodologies, tools you are going to apply there. So I'm sure in the end of this course you will be trade specialist, and you will be also learn a lot of tools and methodologies. So I expect that you will get the job in business analysts or some macroeconomic analysts or somewhere you'll get, and also a lot of think tanks and ministries also looking for trade analysis about the jobs. And second aspect is the research, and I already talking about that the MSc economics is inbuilt with the major emphasis on research. Since we are emphasizing on quantity aspects like econometrics, statistics and mathematics, and also econometrics also we teach not only basic econometrics, also would teach some extent about the time series and also simultaneous equation model and panel data. Also, some extent you are going to learn, and you are going to apply different types of econometric methods once you are, let's say, thorough with the basic econometrics. So I'm sure in all, so you will be expert in methodology part. You also will be expert in your domain like trade or development or urban development or in the financial economics. And also, since is let's say in the internal evaluation, we have in each subject you have to write a what you call the research paper, assignment, viva, and presentations are there. So that gives you kind of all-round knowledge. So you have to prepare yourself about the presentation skills, and also you will have some knowledge about the viva. So how the like what you call the personal interaction or viva for other things. And similarly, you have to write research paper. So you have to know although how to write a professional research paper. So what should be the research question? How should you address it? What is the best methodology going to be applied in there? So in the end, major emphasis on research. And all of you know that as part of MSc course, we are also expecting as you let's say pass out from our let's say qualify from second semester to third semester, you have to not only do the dissertation, which is in fact is also strong in research, and also you have to write a research paper that has to be published. So you have to start your effort in the end of second semester, and by the let's say the first month or second month you have to identify the research question, and you can simultaneously work on research paper as well as dissertation, so that your effort will be less but your output will be maximum. So we have very heavy emphasis on quantitative aspect, research tool, methodologies, and also you are going to study also research methodology. So that will give you the different types of research perspectives, how you are let's say going to learn all this, and how you are going to apply whether qualitative or quantitative. Is if it's quantitative, what kind of data is available, how what kind of methodology you are going to apply. So overall, in the MSc, once you complete the MSc economics, I'm sure you will let's say face the outside challenges in terms of general economics, in terms of master, or let's say for a professional in your course, and also in terms of in-depth knowledge about methodologies, econometrics, and other things. So nowadays you all of you know that the methodologies or econometrics or all these quantity economics is extremely useful to make you compete in the outside world. So I'm sure this is the course we have designed to looking into or to in perspective with the current scenario. So I'm sure you will be very it will be challenging, but in the end you will be extremely satisfying, and you will feel okay, I can compete with the rest of the world in terms of methodologies, economic knowledge, basic aspect, all these aspects we are covering. So all these things have been kept in mind when course is designed. So anything specific I can answer you, but for time being, this is the introduction for myself. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Ranjan. May I ask Dr. Varun to please talk about the development studies specialization?
A very good evening to all participants who have joined for this webinar. Dear participants, I have one question for you. The question is, what do you think is the major challenge facing Indian economy currently? I repeat, my question is, what is the major challenge facing the Indian economy currently? You can either unmute yourself and answer, or you can put it in the chat box.
I don't think they can talk over here, Varun. They'll have to.
They can raise their hand. You can ask them to raise their hand, and then we can unmute accordingly.
Yeah, ma'am, I have just given a permission to unmute if anyone wants to unmute for a minute. Yes, participants. I repeat, my question is, what is the major challenge facing the Indian economy currently? Yeah, thank you, Mrinmay, for answering. Karan Agarwal writes, secure communication channel and proper education infrastructure. So we have 2 responses. I expecting some more answers. What is the major challenge facing the Indian economy currently? Vidya, Varsha, Shiv Kumar, government politics. Vidya, thank you for the answer. Reet, Preeti. Okay, thank you. Time up. So, dear participants, okay, Karan Agarwal also writes about excess dependence on automation causing physical and mental problems. Shiv Kumar writes about increasing oil prices and subsequent effects on balance of payment. And there was one more answer, which was from Avileen, CPI and WPI hack. Okay, now the specialization which I'm going to talk about is development studies. Now, we got exposed to development studies in our masters, where we learned the objective of any economy is not just confined to economic growth. It is also about the welfare of the people. It is also about reducing inequalities. It is also about freedom. So when Amartya Sen writes in his book about development as freedom, about the access to choices, whether the citizens of a country has access to choices or not. I request, yeah, thank you. So if you would have seen in our program structure at our Symbiosis School of Economic website, there is a section of academics under which you can find the program structure, and under the program structure you can find the courses. So I'm just sharing the courses with you about the which we have it in development studies. So we have development experience, where we discussed about the different the countries, what are the experiences in the development problems or the development paths that they have followed. We also look at the importance of markets and institutions when it comes to in the development path, that how institutions are important, how they help in managing development. You would have heard about the concept of tragedy of commons. We also understand about the urban economic development. What are the challenges faced in an urban setup? We also look at the, we have an optional where you can choose either between trade aid and development or behavioral and experimental economics. So trade aid and development is related to the focus of how international trade and how multilateral institutions can influence the development sector of an economy. When it comes to the last semester, we have theories, models of development and distribution, where we discussed about poverty, or different theories of poverty and different models of development. We discussed about different aspects of rural development in our rural development course. This is an applied course where we also understand about the impact evaluation. How as a researcher, how as a student can we conduct impact evaluation studies, especially when any country is spending a lot on its development projects, whether the projects are really materializing in development or not. Then we have a course on human development, where we study about importance of human development, sustainable development, gender inequality, and etc. Overall, I would summarize that the development studies specialization looks at providing a wholesome overview of different paths, problems, and challenges facing a development sector of the economy. Now, when it comes to the job opportunities, that how can what are the job opportunities available for the students who development studies? Students can join any research organization, especially, and they can do really well when it comes to conducting impact evaluation studies. Then many organizations or many research institution NGOs do want the research associates or the program managers who understand the development pathways, about how to design a developmental program. So our students can also contribute in it. Apart from that, the students can go in for institutions like NABARD or RBI, prepare for its entrance test as a Group A or Group B officers. That's it for now from me, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Varun. May I ask Dr. Ashlesha to talk about the finance specialization, please?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Varun, are you sharing the screen?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay,
I'm sharing.
thanks so much. Thanks so much. So good afternoon, everyone. I will tell you a little bit about the finance specialization. Our finance specialization is the latest specialization that we have added to the MSc program. So you can see the subjects which are covered: security analysis and portfolio management, financial economics, derivative markets, financial modeling. This is all part of semester 3. And so basically you will be exposed to financial markets, derivative products like futures, options, swaps, how those are used, why are they used, what are the potential threats that or downside of using such products. In security analysis and portfolio management, you will learn how to make a portfolio, how to do the calculations for optimum portfolio, mean variance model, etc. Basically, it's training you, to get into the field of finance. So you get exposed to various aspects of finance. Yes, Varun, thanks. So in semester 4, you have financial risk management and actuarial economics, which focus on risk. So those subjects can prepare you for, say, a career as a credit risk manager, whether you want to work in an organization like CRISIL or CARE, S&P, or you want to work in insurance companies, in banking, anywhere where credit risk has to be assessed or any type of risk has to be assessed. So those subjects help you prepare for that. Then corporate finance, international capital market and finance. These subjects help you, give you an understanding, a little touch on business and how finance plays a role. And, what are various methods of funding or trading, in terms of what is trade finance, etc. So you get exposed to the corporate side of the finance. And finally, you have behavioral finance, which it's an extension of behavioral economics, actually, and it talks about what is the psychology of investors and players in the financial markets. So how can you explain market movements? And that's one part of it. And the other part of it is also designing a portfolio which incorporates any behavioral biases that clients might have. So these are all the subjects that we cover in finance. They are absolutely on par, if not better, than you would find in an MBA. And they're all applied. So you have a lot of practical work in real world, with actual clients, say with actual, doing actual transactions in financial markets, etc. You get exposed to all of this so that you're ready to, when campus recruiters come in, you are ready to, sit for those interviews and apply everything that you have learned, and get the job that you want to get, basically. So we have recruiters coming from banking, from consulting companies, from non-banking finance companies, from financial advisors, everywhere, you can say. So if you wanted more information, you can check our placements page on the website. It will talk about placements in all areas, trade, development studies, finance, urban, everywhere. So you get an idea of the kind of companies which come in to SSE as campus recruiters. That's it from me right now, Ashita. Thanks. Thanks, Varun.
Thank you, Varun. Since our director could not be present today, I think I will quickly cover up for the urban development specialization. So for all of you out here in the audience, our urban development program is one of the first in the country and is still probably the only one in the country It has been the brainchild and the so-called baby of our director, Dr. Jyoti Chandi Ramani. The urban development specialization offers, I am not the right person to be speaking about this, but I'll try my best. Um, as you can see on the screen, uh, it provides various courses that are listed here, and uh, we have some fantastic placements that take place with this specialization, especially because this is the need of the hour as far as countries are concerned. And there are various practitioners who come in, uh, who give you hands-on training and who also absorb you in the uh, domain and ambit of urban development and its uh, and the various activities and the kind of jobs that are required. Uh, Also, a lot of research is going on in this area. So, whether you want to be a practitioner or whether you want to continue in academia with some of these aspects of research is purely up to you. But yes, we do have this wonderfully designed specialization as well. I think we've covered all four specializations. Uh, I'd like to request my colleagues to talk about placements in general.
Right. So that would be me, right?
Yes, you, and if Dr. Varun wants to contribute anything.
Okay, so as I think Ishita mentioned in the presentation, we prepare you for, before campus recruiters start coming in. I mean, we understand that, you all have not, maybe some of you have not sat for interviews before, or you're not sure about how this whole process works. So we arrange a lot of workshops while you're in your first year itself. So how do you write your CV? How do you attend interviews? How, what is the right kind of business communication you should follow? We arrange many interactions with our alumni who are working in various organizations, corporate, NGOs, government, across international organizations. So we get in touch with them, we arrange the interactions with them so you can ask them questions and understand, how life is and how work is in, these different areas, depending on what you're interested in. So we prepare you for all of this during your first year, because almost immediately when your second year, that is the third semester starts, we have campus recruiters coming in, and we would like you to be prepared for that. So we, as I mentioned earlier, we have recruiters coming from many different kinds of corporates. Largely, I would say most of the recruiters are coming from research and analytics organizations. That is our strength and forte. And we also now have academic collaborations actually with various organizations. So there is scope for placements within those organizations which we are collaborating with. And of course, there is financial advisors, banks, consulting companies, etc. All we have the various kinds, like I said, you can check on our website. So various kinds of recruiters from different sectors and industries which come to SSE to look for potential candidates to join them. Right. Is there something else I should cover?
No, I think we will wait for the questions to come in so that we can take them up.
Should I talk about the internship?
I don't think you have. Yes, maybe you can add the internship. I think you'll have to add the internship bit, mostly, sir.
Okay, so between the first year and the second year, there is a compulsory summer internship which has to be done. right? So we leave that to you really ideally. So what will normally happen is that before you complete your second semester, you will have finalized your specialization for third and fourth semester. And it would be great for you if you can find an internship or you get an internship which is in that same area. So it strengthens your CV at the time of placements. That we SSE has various organizations which we have associations with for many years who come for to find interns for this program. So we definitely do not place everyone. Maybe you have you're interested in something else which is not what we have coming in, but that's perfectly fine. But the summer internship is compulsory. The whole idea behind it is so that everyone gets some real life exposure and you have an opportunity to use what you have learned in the first year, get exposed to what professional life is really about, what are the real world challenges faced in whichever area that you are working. So it gives you a better understanding so that when you come back and you start your third semester in your specialization, you have a better idea and some background, and you're not completely blank, with that subject. So that is there, and that is an assessed internship, so it has to be done.
Thanks. Thank you, Ashlesha. We also had one more aspect to cover, but the colleague who would have described it to you, she's also attending to an examination situation. So if she doesn't come back, I'll touch upon the internationalization bit. Other than that, I think we'll directly move on to all the questions that you may have. Please type in your questions in the chat box and address it to everyone. Whoever can answer those questions will take it up and respond to you. So So Karan is asking, okay, let's begin with Shubhangi's question. She's asking how many PG students got placements last year. Ashlesha?
Yeah, so I'd say that first of all, everybody doesn't apply for placements because some of them want to do PhD, right? So I would say about 60 to 70% of the students who wanted to be placed have been placed till now. I mean, we're not yet complete with that placement season. I think there's one more on development economics. Should I take that one also?
Yes, yes.
Other students who have been placed in research roles? Yes, there are. So it can be with an NGO, it can be with a research think tank.
IIMs,
Yeah, go ahead.
even.
Yeah, IIMs.
Yeah. Yeah. So many of the students have got joined as academic associate or research associate at IIM. So we know someone, our past students in Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and similarly other IIMs, as and when the roles come in.
Right. Okay, then there are interview questions for the admission process. But before that, Karan has asked, can our projects include part of what we studied in our bachelor's? Yes, of course. But the standard of the work has to be more relevant to the master's level, of course, and that you will be able to do when you get exposed to the courses that you are offered in the first and second semesters. As you move on further into your curriculum, you develop better insights and you can offer better insights as well. So something that you worked on in your undergrad can be improved upon greatly with the new set of courses that you will learn. You will realize that a lot of things that you've already learned are being taught all over again, but from a different perspective and at a different level of difficulty and attainment. So that, okay. Uh, some questions about the admissions process. How is the selection process going to take place for the program? And the other one is how to prepare for the PI. What subjects should I focus on? Okay. Uh, you will be selected on the basis of a list that is published, that will be available on the website. And I think there is communication that is sent to you that you have been selected for the admissions process. Once you are selected for the admissions process, there is going to be an interview that takes place uh, where you are gauged with respect to how well you will be able to cope with the curricular content that we offer. We have a varied background as far as students are concerned. People apply from all over the country, even abroad, and not everyone has an exposure to maths or stats or either, or may not have come from a social sciences background at all. We have students who are engineers, we have students who are probably a pharmacist, a chemist, a physicist, etc. So, what we need to understand essentially is how well will you be able to adapt to the program and its contents if you are offered a place here. The other thing is what should you focus on? If you have learned and if you remember and if you can apply your bachelor's courses and if you are aware of what is going on around you, general knowledge, and if you can put two and two together, if you can connect the dots, that is, which is largely commonsensical, that's absolutely a very good start. So I think I've covered those two questions together. Uh, any other questions? These courses available for working professionals. So Vidya, this is a full-time program. If you work, it has to be over and above your college hours. What happens is that because there are so many submissions, because it is so rigorous, you have to study so much, you have to do research work, etc. Working and being enrolled in this program typically takes its toll. That is what we have experienced with various students who said that they could handle working and performing in the program as well. They couldn't. Very few do, but that is towards the fag end of the program where they've already been offered some kind of job and they start working, but they also handle their dissertation and the few courses that they have to write exams for in the final semester, that is the fourth semester. Other than that, it is recommended that either you work or you do this program. Madhvi Khurana asks, the interview will be conducted online or offline at the campus. I think we will conduct the interviews online. All the instructions and all the details will be communicated to you. Please keep checking the website, and I think you will also receive emails if that is there in the plan that the admissions team has prepared for you. But everything will be communicated to you some way or the other. Ashwarya says that I had registered in the month of December, so my final examination status is just appeared, but now the results are out. So am I required to make any changes? No, that's all right. We will have to do. There will be a verification process as far as your last set of exams and your last set of degrees are concerned. So we will take care of all that when that process takes place for people who have been granted admission. What is the process of getting a call for the PI? Aveline, I just discussed how the whole thing takes place. Is there anything specific that you want to ask beyond that? Please go ahead then. Uh, while I was watching a recorded video of the program tour from last year on the SSE portal, there was a small discussion on asking bit of numerical ability in the interview. Please share some more insights on what kind of questions can be asked. I'm not friendly with quick calculations mentally, but can properly. Okay, so see, the thing is like this: if you had, let's say, maths or stats in your undergrad, we could, we will ask you what all you've covered, and then we will probably ask you a question, and we'll give you time to think about it and then respond, right? It's not going to be an instantaneous response that we expect from you. So don't worry about that. And and whatever we ask you is going to be something that you have already learned. We'll first ask you what you've covered, and then we are going to ask you questions from there. So don't worry. Any more questions, anyone? Okay. Since there are no questions, collaborations with uh, universities and colleges and academic institutions abroad, where you can also
Ishita ma'am, you're on mute.
I got disconnected momentarily. So I was saying that we have an option of doing a semester abroad. We have a bunch of collaborations. Uh, if any student is interested, we definitely help them out in selecting the institution or the organization, selecting the courses, working out the entire student exchange, etc. So um, if anyone wants to know more about it, you can write to us, or you can, uh, if you take admission here, we are always going to give you all the details for anyone who is keen on this. Uh, I'm a non-math student. Am I eligible for the course? Yes, of course you are. You are. We need to see that you will be able to cope up with the kind of maths and stats that we teach here. That's all. In fact, we've had so many people who do not have a maths or stats background at all and have done wonderfully after they have started their master's program with us. Yes, Preeti, you are visually impaired, and will you be allowed to have a writer during the entrance test? There is no need to write, Preeti. We will only ask you questions which you can answer verbally, and that should be that shouldn't be an issue. If you take admission with us, we will make sure that your process and your journey here is as smooth as possible, and we will take the necessary steps. So don't worry about that. Will everyone who has applied to the MSc program get a call for the PI? If you fulfill the eligibility criterion, then yes, but not everyone who has appeared for the PI will get through, of course. Okay, there's another question about scholarships and loans. There are scholarships available and there are loan facilities available, which once you take admission, those things will be uh, those details will be shared with you. And I think the website also has these details. So in the meantime, you can look up the website also. Karan is asking, while I was conducting a research in my graduation on the fintech bubble back in, dive deep in the lockdown, that there could be much more with the threat of some while studying more, watching through the. Okay, so you could take up international trade, you could take up finance, and both elements of both specializations work in the case of the fintech bubble. So it will be your choice later on. Right. Any other questions? Else, I think we will conclude this session today. Please read up the material that is available on the website. Almost all the questions that you have asked or you want to ask will in some way or the other be covered on the website. You will get your answers. If you still have any queries beyond this point, please write to us on the email ID that is provided, and you will also have access to this particular webinar and the webinar that we have conducted some time back. These are the social media handles for SSE. Just check your chat box. Please feel free to explore them. And thank you so much for your time. We hope to see you in the interview sessions. Thank you so much. We can end the webinar now.